outlined, a whole broad range of issues that the India parties will have to tackle, and presumably they will through the meeting in Mumbai and of course subsequent meetings. But the central question, Salman, and this is again been brought to the fore today with the Congress party putting up Rahul Gandhi posters and then retracting them. Then you had Priyanka Kakkar saying that Arvind Kejriwal is a prime ministerial face. She then had to retract it. Priyanka Chaturvedi says Uddhav Thackeray would be an ideal prime ministerial face. You have to address this question of Modi versus who sooner than later. You cannot brush it aside or brush it under the carpet.
Zaka, we don't have to address anything that the media says we have to address. We have to address what we believe the country needs at this time. You've laid out some very important issues, whether it is price rise, whether it is high unemployment, whether it is extremely low labor force participation rates, especially for women, whether it is the kind of politics that BJP has brought to India, whether it is the quite frankly very disgusting things that have happened with women, whether the Brijbhushan Singh case, whether you have Bilkis Bano case, whether what happened in Manipur, and how the Prime Minister and the BJP have totally abdicated responsibility, or whether it is China which keeps on pushing India around, or whether it's a foreign policy where our neighbors are being pushed away. I think there are lots of issues and the people of the country realize that. Now, in terms of who will lead this alliance, which I believe is already giving nightmares to the BJP, quite frankly. That is why you saw this 200 rupee cut yesterday, and I'm sure they're going to do many more things. But let me just say this. I'm proud of the fact that the India Alliance has many, many leaders, many seasoned leaders, excellent leaders, who could become Prime Minister, who could do a much better job than Prime Minister Modi has. And by the way, you talked about Rahul Gandhi. Of course, he's a beloved leader of the Congress party. If people feel that he should be Prime Minister, of course his supporters would say that. And if Priyanka, my friend Priyanka from Shiv Sena feels that Uddhav ji can be Prime Minister, of course she has a right to say that. And of course, if somebody from the Aam Aadmi Party or anybody else wants to support their leader, there is no harm in that. But
no. Salman, the point, the problem, problem, 2019, and this is how it is. Not just in India, by the way. This is happening across, parliamentary democracies around the world. So you will have to contend with this question. But let me ask Aparajita Sarangi, the only thing that seems to be going for the BJP, and this is again one of the contentions from the opposition, is that you only have a chehra, you only have a face, you have Prime Minister Modi. But there are a whole host of issues, according to the opposition, where his government has failed, your government has failed.
We have two things. An excellent leader in Prime Minister Modi, whom the entire world looks up to, number one. And number two, of course, is the excellent record, the report card of the party which we take to the people. And I think we are the only party, we are the only government since independence which has had the courage to take its report card to the public. This is one part. Now, number two, if I.N.D.I.A. wants to gain the confidence of 140 crore Indians, they have to answer 4 questions. They can't just beat around the bush as all the spokespersons have been doing. The first question, which you have already mentioned, I would reiterate, who is going to be the convener? Right. So they just mentioned that there would be a 11-member committee. Can you ever think of a meeting being convened by an 11-member committee? Number one. Number two, who is going to be the PM's face? Already there are about 6 contenders and we have heard all the spokespersons. Now, number 3 and very important is the common minimum program. And here I would like to mention, I would like to kind of, remind all of you that the last meeting of I.N.D.I.A. took place in Bengaluru on 17th, 18th July, and thereafter there was a press meet, and in the press meet, it was told by the spokespersons that immediately the common minimum program would be drawn up and the country would get to know, but it never happened. And last and very important is the seat sharing pattern, which I think, Jaka, you have not mentioned. Now, what is going to be the seat sharing strategy? Now, since independence, if you look at things, in no general election, Congress has contested in less than 400 seats. So, which seat it is going to leave, which seat it is going to give its candidature from? So, I think this is a major question. Now, number two, related to this, related to the seat sharing thing, I'm just giving you an example. AAP has come forward and said it would also contest in Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, and it will definitely not leave Delhi and Punjab. So I think I just gave you two examples as far as seat sharing pattern problem is concerned.
So let me ask,
to answer a host of issues before they actually
let me ask
talk about unity.
Nalin Mehta this. Aparajita Sarangi is right. Those four issues, who is the PM face, who is the convener, what sort of coordination mechanism will they have, common minimum program, all of these things, and of course seat sharing. How many seats out of 543 can the India Alliance find common candidates? Now, the contention of the India Alliance is, A, they still believe, whether with good reason or otherwise, we can debate, that you don't need to project a face. You can say the collective faces of these 26 parties will go to the people. A, does that work? B, the issues that they are raising, they are convinced, whether it is price rise, unemployment, women's safety, etc., they are convinced that those issues matter enough to the people of India to vote out the Modi government. Are these electorally relevant? Going without one face, who it is going to be against Modi, because they realize no one face can match that of Modi. And B, they feel that the issues are stronger enough, while Modi's face might be great, that the BJP's track record on tackling these issues has not been stellar, and therefore the opposition feels they have a chance.
So, Zaka, I mean, just in the last, just yesterday, the Pew Research Center data has come out, and they are reporting that somewhere around 79% of Indians have a favorable view of Narendra Modi, out of which 55% are very favorable. Now, yes, issues do matter, price rise, unemployment, all of these will be important issues in the 2024 election. That's what the election will be about. But make no mistake, Modi is the issue. In the last 10 years or so, we have seen a much more presidential style of politics. We've seen electorates giving more and more decisive verdicts, and we've seen a much more personalized style of politics. And in 2024, the BJP is going to legitimately ask, against Modi, who? Now, it's going to be about chemistry versus arithmetic. Now, if there are two challenges for the India Alliance, one, they've done well so far in terms of knitting it together and so on. There's still a lot of contradictions within the alliance, and you mentioned some of that today, vis-a-vis Rahul Gandhi being put up more prominently than others, or the statement by the AAP spokesperson, which was then retracted. So all of these are contradictions below the surface that keep coming in and out. But fundamentally, this will be about two things. Ultimately, who is the prime ministerial candidate from India and from the India Alliance, and the second is going to be about common candidates. That is easier said than done. If you have a common candidate, if you can work out and only one opposition candidate against the BJP, then the game becomes more difficult for the BJP. But can the alliance pull that off? I think these two things are really important.
Okay, the alliance's contention is maybe they won't get in all 543 seats a common candidate against the BJP. Even if they manage to do that in 250 or 300 seats out of 543, that itself will pose a challenge to the BJP. But